Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to another Slimy Sky Memories video. So, if you haven't seen my previous video, you'll know that I did talk about battle character shards. Initially, it wasn't meant to be just battle characters, but after like 15 minutes, I was kind of like, okay, well, I'm only talking about battle characters, so I'll just split it up into another video. But protection character shards. Now, you'll see I am missing one base pool 5-star protector. That is Space Rammers. Now I'm thinking about saving up my anniversary medals to just select her, but I'm also waiting to see out of recruit tickets and stuff to see if I will be able to pull her. But I figured I might as well talk about this because I have not really thought about, you know, protection characters past level 120. I really haven't given much thought because I just haven't thought about it too much. But you can see I also have a lot of characters who are not level even 100. Specifically these 5 right here. This Shuna, I have not pulled her ever since her initial banner. I put that dupe in her, I believe. This Shizue, I also believe I put this dupe into her. This guy, I did not. I believe I got a free dupe and I put into him. Him, I put a dupe into him, and then Kari, I believe I did not. I think I pulled him naturally. And then everyone else, I don't think I've put any... I've put into Toa and into her. But outside of that, everyone else pretty much outside of level 100 is this way for a reason. And you can see I have a lot of shards. I have 33 out of, what is it, like 25 needed plus 10 to get them to level 120. And I've kind of thought about who you should be taking, like, generally, and 2, who I personally will be taking up with my shards, because now that it'll be a lot harder to even pull protection characters in the first place after being free to play. Again, I'm gonna see if that goes on hold just for the collab, just for the collab, because these units will never come back. So I don't know. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna wait. Maybe I'll wait until after that I've used my tickets and stuff. But again, we'll really have to see. But going into this, so EX characters aside, I've seen a lot of people use shards to buff up mainly protection units as these 5 stars as supports. You don't typically really need to use a lot of these characters anymore, because EX protection units are just better overall. There are a lot of stacking protection characters that are EX units, but like there are some that you will use, like this Dark Magic Veldora is still used. Toa is still used. She is kind of, but I think it started to fall off. He is kind of fallen off a little bit. He's pretty much the same as Toa, but Toa's just literally better. She has fallen off a little bit as well, just because like the team's not as great and there's EX characters now, but like you're still getting a lot of value out of this team. Like this team still isn't like bad, right? Guy, I think, is occasionally used, and so is Kari. Very specific uses, I think, even specifically their Tempered Edge stages. This Shuna has been used a lot recently, and that's because of the Hero's Jubilee stage, normal battle 3, where you can just stack the stun strike and pierce power, and then just like use light Raphael to nuke, right? Which I am thinking about it, but who should you use your shards on? Outside of those you already have level 100, I would say protection units don't, like, how do I say this? They're not, I think, as impacted by dupes as like battle characters are. Of course, dupes are definitely still important and will change, you know, like the traits that you have on them, right? Oh, right here, right? And then also their stats that they give to everyone. But they're not as impactful, literally, as it is for battle characters, because battle characters get a lot more stats. They get 2 levels of protection traits, and then they also just perform better overall, and you know, lend their stats to other characters. So there's that. I mean, they do too, but you know what I mean, right? So, who should you use it on? I'm gonna say you should use them on strong 5-star protection characters like this dark magic Veldora, this water magic Milim, this dark or space dark Veldora is also pretty. He's like a year and a half old. He's still not bad because he's the first like stacking character, and space is always a good element. But maybe you'd be a little bit more iffy. He is a good support though. But outside of that, this Shizue, this Shuna, Kari even, honestly, you can be pretty liberal with who you want to use. You can either use them on characters that you like, characters that like protection characters that you use often. Someone like Toa would be a great example of someone you would want to use them on, because you're going to get a lot of mileage out of her. She just has a general really decent kit that can be used in like Valor Cup or like short bursty stages, Heroes Jubilee and stuff like that as well. So she is like a really valid option. And so you can use them for characters you like, characters that are just generally strong, or characters that have good traits that you don't already have level 100. So for example, I'm gonna use Toa again. While she is a really good protection character, her trait is that when 3 Vanguard allies or 3 Vanguard characters have 75% or more HP, she increases all allies' attack by 6% at the start of turn. So at the start of battle, she's already giving all of your front Vanguard allies 6% attack. And then if you swap them out and your rear guard characters come in, and then the next turn they have over 75% HP, they're also getting 6% attack. So characters with traits like that buff attack just generally at the start of battles and things like that are also really useful. Now there aren't a lot of like traits that you know, they don't like, there aren't traits that give you like protection gauge or something. All the protection traits give stats in some sort of way. So look, she increases pierce resistance, you increase everyone's attack if someone has 50% of lower HP. You typically want to go characters that will give with 70% or more. You can go characters that are 60% or lower, but that can be a little bit iffy sometimes. But that I would say those 3. And then I will add one more. One more, lastly, I would say, is a protection unit that buffs a specific main DPS unit that you really, 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 really need to like just juice the absolute hell out of. A good example of this is the Space Ramrus I don't have. So in the recent Heroes Jubilee Visions of Coleus meta, the main DPS units were space magic characters. And what does Ramrus buff? Space magic attack and defense, I think. So people boosted her up and used her as her support because she was just giving a lot of stats, and she was giving the extra leader skill support buff to those specific characters and just juicing them up. So using that can really change your score. It doesn't change your scores by like a significant amount, but it does improve your damage scores, which in game modes like that, like that's everything, right? Like you need as much damage as you can get. So you'll typically see that with more of these characters, like the 2.0 meta with like water magic, fire physical, things like that. Typically not these element ones because you can't satisfy both. So like wind magic, earth magic, protection units that have those sort of characteristics or leader skills, because you can line them up properly with one character and meet those specific requirements. So that's pretty much it for who you want to use them on. Characters that the protection units that are just really good. So Dark Magic Veldora, all the stacking ones, Toa, and I guess characters that do something that no one else does. So this Shuna and this Shizue, and maybe even Guy and Kari as well. These characters have all proven to be really solid still. Obviously not used as often, but there's no one that currently kind of does what they do, except for Toa. But Toa is much easier to get, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's it, I think. And then obviously traits, and then characters you like, and characters, protection characters that specifically buff a unit that like you need, or that you are using in like a ranking event or Heroes Jubilee or something like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for who people I think generally should be using them on. You can let me know down below if I'm missing anything. Again, I'm only focusing on 5 stars, like normal general 5 stars, not like, you know, these characters, right? Like, can I actually? No, I cannot. But like you can, you know, use 3 star stuff, like whatever, right? But who am I personally gonna take up? That kind of remains a little bit to be seen. For Heroes Jubilee, I'm gonna see if they are gonna maintain that Blanc normal battle 3, where you use like Luminous as like your stacker. But I am thinking about bringing this Shuna up to level 100, just because she's so unique. Like no one does what she does, right? Or no one stacks the stats. No one stacks the stats that she does. So I'm thinking about bringing her up to level 100, just because, you know, she's unique at the moment. Outside of her, I'm also thinking about bringing this Shizue up. I didn't realize she was only level 84, but I'm also thinking about it as well, just because she's still pretty solid, and I do use them like in loop. So, and I do occasionally use her as a support, so I figured maybe I'll think about it. I'm a little also thinking about Watermelon and or Toa, because they're so close, but I'm also unsure if I'll pull a dupe of them, like I did with this Watermelon. Like I didn't even have her a little bit of like months ago, and then within the span of like 2 to 3 months, I pulled enough copies to have an extra copy of her that just sits in my box. So I'm waiting to kind of see if I end up pulling just another copy and can just get them to level 100 for free. Then, you know, I can just leave it at that. I don't really have any plans on getting characters past 120 at the moment. Maybe like 1 or 2, like Toa or like this Shuna or something, or even this Veldora. But I'm kind of hesitant at the moment because I feel like I should save all of these to boost characters up to level 100 in the first place, instead of focusing on 120. But outside of that, we'll have to see. I'm just kind of unsure the moment as to whether or not I want to invest that much. We'll have to see what sort of content they push out moving forward. But yeah, maybe, who knows, maybe I will just need like this guy or something. What does this guy even do again? Counterattack rate, that's right. Who knows, maybe I'll have to use like one of them, or like Guy or something where I really need it. Then I'll think about it. But you know who I won't be giving this to? This guy. Absolutely not. You suck. I hate you. You're terrible. Literally worse than characters that came out in the first year. The first like week of the game. But yeah, that's pretty much it from me. Let me know down below what you guys think. Should I, like, are there any characters that I should just immediately bring up to level 100 no matter what? Let me know down below. Also let me know if this was helpful. I hope it is. But if there's any feedback or anything you guys have, just feel free to let me know. So that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.